Hanging posters has never looked more enticing. This is Felicity Was Here. Welcome back to Felicity Was Here. I'm Heather.
I'm Melissa.
And I'm Dr. Joe.
And today we're discussing Felicity Season 2, Episode 19, Running Mates. Hello, ladies. How are you?
Hey, doing well. How are you?
Good. Feel like I finally got most of my voice back to normal.
Yeah, you sound
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Big
It only
difference.
took 3 weeks. Almost 4. Crazy. I can't believe we're on episode 19. We're almost at well, I guess it has an extra episode this season from season 1, but we're like nearing the end here.
Wow.
It's exciting. And there's been lots of talk on Instagram. On our Instagram, I had posted a poll about my opinion that Greg looks like her third eye blind, and looks like I'm almost the only one who thinks that.
And
so
I immediately went and clicked no.
thanks for that. I immediately clicked yes, but I think one other person agreed with me. But it's unfortunate.
You weren't alone.
But I did.
Was it your sister?
I don't know. She's got a new baby, so I don't know how much she's scrolling
okay.
Instagram right
That's
now.
fair.
I'll have to ask her if that was her. I don't think I get to see who voted what. That would make sense, though, if it were her. But I even told her that I had an opinion, because she brought up his haircut to me separately before she even listened to our episode, and she mentioned that, or she was wondering if they made him get a haircut to make him look more mature, because this whole time we've been saying, like, who is this guy? He's an undergrad. Why is he a director of a health center? And she did say that the haircut made him look more mature. Like when she went into his office saying like, oh, consider me as your assistant. Like he was looking more like a little bit older and like he was a boss. And I thought that was interesting. I always wonder about haircuts. I mean, we know Felicity's was planned in the script, but yeah, I always wonder like how much an actor or actress, like how much control do they have over their own hair and look while they're
Maybe they thought like he and Felicity's hair were too close. Like they resembled.
Oh my God.
So they're like, he needs to cut that.
You got to go shorter, bro.
You look like her.
I thought his head looked like a butt. Like it had like the way it was parted down the middle. Like it looked like either like a brain or like a butt. Yeah, like it was too poofy and with the part down the middle. It's just like he looks like a butt head, like literally. It just was an awful look. Like there's no other reason we need.
Yeah.
For like, it was just like floppy and disheveled.
Two terrible
like
haircuts.
Crazy scientist dude. So like, yeah, to me he looked more professional, put together with like a cleaner cut.
Yeah, that was a benefit of the haircut. But yeah, I think it was inspired because he looked just like shit. He looked awful. He looks hot in like his little IMDb profile, but no, that hair was not working on any level.
Yeah. But so yeah, on Instagram, a few other folks had mentioned that he played like a bad boy on another teen soap called 15. I'd never even heard of it. I don't know if you all had seen it.
No.
But I guess bad boy's name was Dylan. And so I was like, Dr. Joe sounds like he would be up your alley.
No. There's only one Dylan.
Oh,
His name is Dylan McKay. There's no other Dylan.
So yeah, I went to his IMDb, Chris William Martin's IMDb, and I know we'd looked at it before, but like I really did a deep dive to see what this 15 show was. But I saw he was also in Susie Q, which starred Amy Jo Johnson.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys ever saw that show. It was like a Disney Channel, I think Disney Channel way back in the day. But I was like, wow, there was a little Felicity overlap back then.
Nice.
Never met her.
Who?
Susie Q.
It's what you expect from a Disney Channel movie. She played like I think a high schooler
She's
in
a
the
ghost,
50s.
right?
Yeah, who like dies and she's haunting this house. And then
Oh.
it's like in the 90s, I think new people moving in this house and she's a ghost. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really interesting.
That sounds tragic.
I don't know that I ever finished it, but I've definitely seen the beginning. So on to running mates. So last week, both Greg and Felicity decided to run for class president, as well as Richard. But their opposing views may have started a little wedge between them. And for the Sadie Hawkins dance, we also saw that Elena asked Tracy and Julie asked Noel. Ben also started an internship, which put him in a new light for Felicity. So Running Mates, this was written by Josh Reams and directed by Robert Williams Jr. We open with Javier handing out flyers for Felicity's campaign in the halls, as well as coupons to Dina DeLuca. Felicity says is against the rules because you're buying votes. So Felicity starts recording a note to Sally. She tells her that she figured the worst thing that could happen with this election is that she could lose. But she said after everything that's been going on, losing could be the easy part. So she sees one of her campaign posters up in the hallway has been vandalized. Chia Head has been written in red marker all over the poster. Richard comes up and he's hanging up his posters. He's laughing at Chia Head and tells her that people have also been lighting his free pizza banners on fire. Felicity says, this is crazy. It's just student council. Richard says, well, the only thing different between college and national elections is soft money. Felicity says, what does that mean? And Richard doesn't know. I don't even think I know what that means. I probably should have Googled it. Money's money. I don't know what's soft or hard. So then Ben comes up to the both of them and says that he saw some guy writing Chia Head on her posters and he chased him a couple blocks, but he got away. But Ben says that guy, he's seen him hanging out with Greg before. He's always wearing shorts and a red hat. And I immediately thought, oh, Fred Durst? To me, I was just like, that could be anyone in the 90s. Like, everyone was wearing denim shorts, like those Jinko shorts and baseball caps backwards. So I'm like, that could really be anyone. But Felicity's in disbelief that Greg would have someone doing that, while Richard's chuckling. Ben asks for privacy. And I noticed that they're using the finals countdown music, too, which gives it, like, an interesting little edge to the episode.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, in that scene in particular. So Richard's going to give them privacy, and as he walks away, he says, politics, it's a hardcore, tough-ass world, isn't it? Laughs away, and he walks away laughing. And I gotta say, I think Richard, again, is the MVP of this episode. He is so funny, so many good one-liners, and his facial expressions, I just can't. They're just too good. Okay. So Felicity goes to the health center. We see Greg talking with a short turd with a red baseball cap on. Perfect casting, like, looks like the epitome of a sniveling little lackey of someone else.
What's that guy from?
So I also looked at his IMDb, and he played someone named Pit Stain in Adventures of Pete and Pete.
Oh.
That was like his biggest, most episodes.
That's it?
So,
okay.
I mean, there was other random stuff, but, you know, like an NCIS here or there, you know, that kind of stuff. But that was the only thing that I had, like, heard of where someone might recognize him.
He looked like a jankier version of the guy who was in Eurotrip, I think. Maybe that's who you're thinking of, Melissa.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, like a sniveling version of that.
Okay.
Because when, like,
if you want to do a side by, I think Greg looks more like Stephen Jenkins than Eurotrip guy.
All
right.
I
guess it depends which Eurotrip guy you're talking about.
I see the guy you're talking about. Yeah, from Eurotrip. Yeah, they look very similar.
You should do another poll.
Which one?
Thank you. That'd be fun.
Which Eurotrip guy? There's like 3 different guys in it.
His name is Travis Wester, and he played Jamie.
Okay. I don't see it, but okay.
Okay, you're not. You're just playing now. That's ridiculous. Do a poll. We'll let the viewers decide. The listeners decide.
I'm sure you'll tell all your brothers and sisters to go vote for your stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, great casting in my opinion.
Yeah. They got it. Do you want to know what soft money is?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Okay. Historically, soft money could come from corporations, unions, and wealthy individuals and was intended for activities like voter registration and get out the vote drives. However, it was often used for issue ads that, while not explicitly calling for a candidate's election or defeat, were clearly intended to influence federal elections. So it's like a loophole. Like
sounds like money.
Yeah, like money is money.
Yeah, corporations and rich people. Okay.
Yeah.
But not like actually donating to a campaign, but still influencing it somehow.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Interesting. So we see Andre for the first time. He leaves and Felicity confronts Greg about the poster vandalization that her friend, he saw Andre doing it. I'm like, oh, interesting. She saw, not he saw. So Greg's like, I mean, he's a funny little guy, but he wouldn't do something like that. So then Greg asks Felicity if they're ever going to have another date. He says maybe the day after the election, they can take off for the weekend. What, do you think it's too early for something like that? Felicity replies, don't you? But just then, another candidate comes up and asks them if they've hacked into his campaign website. And again, I'm like, in college, you have a campaign website? Like, I'm still just baffled that they have this much stuff for college
especially
student
back
council.
then. Yeah, no.
So what do we think? Is it too early to take off for a weekend together?
No fucking duh, as you would say.
They only had one date.
They barely were even having a dinner date.
Right?
Like, they were barely talking about, like, oh, should we go out to dinner? Like, it was like they're not even established enough for it to be like, you're still asking somebody out on dates, you know? It's like not even a whole ass relationship yet. What are you doing, buddy?
We haven't even had a second date.
Yeah.
We're going to go away for the weekend.
That's ridiculous.
And also, do college kids go away for the weekend? Like, it felt like they were playing grown-ups.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
is that something college kids really do?
They didn't fucking in first season, so I guess in this world they do.
Oh, yeah, Vermont.
Yeah. So I guess that's the thing with these kids, but yeah.
It's like an East Coast thing, I think, because they
There
can
you
just
go.
like
Go
go
upstate.
to a bed and breakfast for the weekend.
But I'm like, can they afford it? I guess if you're rich, maybe Greg's
If you're a
rich.
doctor, you know.
You've
Director of the health center.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, it totally felt like they were like playing grown-up pretend adult relationship to me.
It's like Noel trench coaty.
Yes.
Mhm.
So Felicity then tells Sally that about this bully that won their student council elections when she was in 4th grade. And now she feels like she's surrounded by those types of bullies. So we see Ben and Noel are both helping Felicity with her campaign and the posters. And they're talking about Greg denying the fact that Andre would vandalize her posters. And Felicity tells them that, like, no, I told Greg that, you know, a friend of mine, she saw Andre. Ben's like, she? Like, why'd you say she? Felicity's like, well, they're just trying to protect you. He's like, I don't need protection from Greg. Which is very interesting that, like, she felt like she had to hide that it was Ben.
Well, she already knows that they don't have a good
rapport.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. She's not as transparent as she could be sometimes. That's within character, you know, for her. Even this, like, do you think it's too soon to go? Don't you? Like, she doesn't answer the question directly. She just asks the question back. So she's not doing a really good job of speaking up for herself, like protecting her own interests, but she's trying to protect Ben. So that's interesting.
So Felicity says that Greg gave her his word that it wasn't Andre. Ben's like, oh, his word, that's valuable. And Noel backs up Ben. He's like, yeah, I mean, let's just consider here that Greg might be lying. Felicity's like, no, you know what? I believe Greg, you know, like Greg told me that it wasn't Andre. Ben says, so you believe him over me? Felicity says, no, I just think you could have seen someone else. Ben says, look, I think you're just kidding yourself. And says, like, you know what you do? Just leak his drug arrest. Felicity says, no, that's what's wrong with this campaign already. So Felicity tells Sally that she originally wasn't going to go dirty, but everyone's doing it. So she's not going to get all walked over. She's fighting back. So then we get what I think is one of the most hilarious scenes of the whole show. All the candidates are vandalizing each other's posters and putting theirs up over others. And again, Richard shines here. And so do Ben and Felicity together. Like, they're a team. And it did remind me of, like, the fun they were having in the pool before they got caught. Like, they were just, I don't know, they were laughing and smiling. And it felt, like, very light. And I know this show can get really heavy sometimes. So it's, like, nice to see some of the levity in these scenes. So, yeah, Ben's helping Felicity. He writes Dick on Richard's poster, and she starts scribbling, and he, like, grabs her down the hall, like, to get them away. Then Greg and Andre pull up and vandalize Felicity's posters together. So they bond, those two. A little bromance there. And then Richard sees his poster, which is, you know, says Dick, and his face is all scribbled out. Again, his, like, little hurt face was so funny. So then he takes down that poster and then staples flyers over the entire corkboard with his little staple gun. Oh my God, his facial expression, it's comedic gold. So then Felicity and Ben pull up one last time and see Richard's face all over the corkboard, and they wipe all of the flyers away and put up Felicity's posters instead. So just an absolutely classic
So
scene.
cute. You're right, though. We never get to see like these fun little lighthearted moments. I like that.
Yeah, and maybe it's easier to do that via montage versus like specific scenes at a time. With the montage, you can it's like really quick little snapshots,
Yeah.
so you can do a lot more story in
Yeah.
a lot less time. So you can make some space for that.
Like when they were dancing in the apartment doing the wallpaper party, that was cute too.
So then at Elena's, Julie is helping her with the wallpaper still. And Elena's explaining to Julie that she's thinking of going with Tracy to the top of the Empire State Building for a date. And Julie tells her that she should instead cook a romantic lobster dinner for him at the apartment and stay in. Elena says they went out for dinner the other night and they made out for like an hour at the doorway. She says he's such a gentleman. She wasn't going to invite him up, even though she really wanted to, but then he didn't ask to come up, and so she started doubting herself, wondering, well, why isn't he asking to come up? But Julie says, look, it sounds like Tracy respects you, so, like, don't turn that into a bad thing. So Elena's like, all right, is this pot big enough for lobster? So she's going to do this lobster dinner idea from Julie, and then asks her, oh, what do I do about the roommate, Noel? Julie's like, I can take care of Noel.
Ugh, gross.
Cooking lobster in college for a college date is also very grown up. Like, what? I just made a grilled cheese today, and I thought that was like a miracle.
I know.
Because I used 2 different kinds of cheese. I'm like, I'm really living it. Like, I've made it.
What cheeses did you use?
It was just cheddar, and I honestly forgot the other one, like maybe a mozzarella. It was a white one, a white shredded one. But yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm slick. But I would never cook a lobster, in college. Like, that's nuts.
I'm 38 years old. I've never made lobster myself. Like,
I mean, I never would, like, because I think that's crazy, inhumane, icky. But that's also, like, a very grown-up meal. Like, that's like, who do you think you are, Gordon Ramsay? Like, what are you doing? Are you going to make, like, a lobster risotto? Like, what is this? This is nuts.
They're all like they're all doing things they think adults do in relationships. Yeah. That's how it all felt to me. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little bit out of place, but I'm like, okay, I'll go with it, I guess.
The lobster was was a little out there, but I think the whole staying in thing made sense. It sounds like they've been on a few dates now, so I think it's like, oh, let's stay home.
Yeah.
Netflix and chill. Like, that part makes sense with the lobster.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Totally. That's like so over the top.
And she even said to Julie, like, oh, are you paying for the lobster?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what college kids can afford that?
Yeah.
Like, where did she go to buy these? I guess New York City probably has a lot more than where I went to school, but just like, where do you go to buy fresh lobster to cook? But I guess, New York probably has a bunch of places. So then we are back in one of the college buildings in the hallway. Ben sees another one of Felicity's posters is drawn on Chia Hedden and whatnot. So he goes up to confront Andre. Looks like they're doing some sort of like tabling thing. I don't know what that was, but Andre is there, Greg is there. Ben goes up to Andre to confront him about it, like, oh, you remember me? I was chasing you a few blocks yesterday. Andre's like, no, it wasn't him. I don't remember you. So then Greg comes up and says, like, what's going on? He's like, look, I already told Felicity it wasn't Andre. Ben says, yeah, well, I saw him. So Greg says, so what, you think I told him to go vandalize my girlfriend's posters? Ben's like, girlfriend? I don't think so. Greg says, yeah, my girlfriend. What, are you jealous? And Ben doesn't respond. He just walks away straight to Richard's door and asks him if he wants information on Greg. And Richard, of course, says, you've come to the right place.
So nasty. He's such a little rat. He was so eager for that.
But yeah, girlfriend, come on, Greg.
They haven't even had a second date.
Well, that's the thing about going away for the weekend, too. Like, that would be a boyfriend-girlfriend thing, but it's like, you can't even hardly get out an invitation to dinner, but you're like, oh, yeah, that's my girlfriend, and we're going away for the weekend. Like, okay.
Be slightly fair to Greg, though. At this point, they are all vandalizing each other's posters. So it's like, Ben is so pissed off at Andre about it. And it's like, I mean, you're all vandalizing each other's posters at this point. So I think the reaction to me was a little outsized to what was going on. And yeah, he was like, Ben was jealous. He did do this because he was jealous.
But that's a gross dick move for him to be like, oh, are you jealous? Like, jealous of something that's mine that you don't have. Like, it just feels like too much ownership over her. Like, he's like, it was giving Noel vibes. Like, when he's kind of played that card before, like, just that insecurity, like, oh, are you jealous? Like, trying to rub it in somebody's face or hold it over somebody else. It's like, that's not what your relationship should be about. Like, that shouldn't be a thing that you stand on to make somebody jealous. Like, that's just icky. It cheapens the relationship, whatever they are or are not. It cheapens it by him being like, "Oh, are you jealous?"
But all I'm saying is
I'd be like, "Don't fucking talk to me."
Like, did do all this because he was jealous.
Yeah, that's fine, but I would be like, "Don't be like rubbing me in somebody else's face. Like, that's not why I'm trying to date you or whatever. Like, that's gross. That's gross."
Yeah, it is gross to be like, "Are you jealous?" But he is jealous.
Yes, two things can be true at the same time.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Ben's jealous, but I think it's more than jealousy with Ben. I feel like he respects Felicity. Like, we've been talking about his respect growing for her and his admiration and wanting to do better and all those things. I feel like he's taking it as a severe sign of disrespect. Like, it's not 100% about jealousy. It's like, you're disrespecting somebody I care about who doesn't deserve to be disrespected in that way. And Greg doesn't have the same regard for her because he's participating in it too. Like his own
they're all
quote-unquote girlfriend.
Participating in it now.
But
like, she's vandalizing her boyfriend's things too.
I think that's ridiculous too. But I don't know. I feel like Ben's got more respect for her than Greg does.
Potentially, I think it was an overreaction from Ben. Like, they wrote on a poster.
That's congruent with Ben's reactions in general. And they tend to be overreactions. So yeah, that's consistent with him.
Yes, it is consistent.
He's definitely consistent.
So then we see Noel is designing posters for Felicity when Ruby knocks on the door. She just got in from Colorado telling her parents that she's pregnant. She explains to Noel that everything that happened was the opposite of what she thought. She says she thought her dad would be furious and her mom would be cool, but it was the opposite. Her mom completely shut down and didn't talk for days, and her dad had a couple of drinks and he never drinks. And then she said he was also then the sweetest he's ever been to her. So Noel asks about the father of the baby, and Ruby says that she hasn't called him and she isn't going to. So then Noel asks what his name was because he realizes she never told him. She says Wade. So then Ruby says that she missed Noel. I just think it was interesting that she looked like she came straight from the airport to his place. She had a duffel bag and everything. And I'm like, and you're only friends? I just thought that was interesting. That's the first stop.
True.
Then we see Felicity, Leela, and Julie go back to Felicity's room with her, and Felicity discovers that all of her posters are missing. She's been robbed. And she's like, this is getting crazy. There's a difference between writing on posters and robbing someone's room. So Felicity goes to Greg and tells him that Megan told her she saw someone who looks like Andre take her stuff. She's like, look, I know you said Andre, didn't do it, but this is now another person who says this is Andre. So Greg says he doesn't know how to respond. He feels like he's dealing with two people here, Felicity the candidate and Felicity the person. She's like, all right, well, what would you say to Felicity the candidate? And he said, I'd tell her to get over it. But Felicity, I like Felicity the person, so I'm not going to do that. So Greg then claims he told Andre not to mess with her stuff. She says, oh, so you trust Andre over me. Greg says, you trust Ben over me. So Felicity says, so what? Is it just every man for himself until the election is over? Greg says, if you can agree to that, then I can.
I have a question. Why didn't he say Felicity the candidate and Felicity the girlfriend? Why did he say Felicity the person? If he's throwing around that title so easily with Ben, why didn't he say it to Felicity, the supposed girlfriend in question?
Because she's a person.
Because he knows he'd sound like a psychopath?
Yes, exactly that. Yes. Yeah. It's just an interesting choice.
I mean, yeah, I don't think they've defined any relationship, so.
That's what I'm saying. He shouldn't be throwing that term around just to be nasty to people. That's stupid. If he can't say it to her, he shouldn't say it to anybody else for any reason. I mean, keep my fucking name out of your mouth. We're done. Shut up.
Well, she doesn't know he did that.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Because it's a secret. Because she doesn't know she's his girlfriend.
Yep. So then Felicity and Ben decide to break into Anjay's room because fair is fair. So they head over to the loft for Sean to get his spyware gear. But Noel's there too. He's like, I really think this is a bad idea. One minute you're breaking into his room, the next thing you know, you'll be paying off hitmen and fishing hookers out of the hut. They all look at him like, what? He's like, all right, so that was a little extreme, but he just thinks it's a bad idea. So Felicity says, look, Noel, this is how elections work. You get pushed and then you push back. Noel says, okay, I guess as long as you're not making any personal attacks against anyone. Felicity says, of course not. It's just a game, which makes Ben look down guiltily.
Mm-hmm.
So while they continue to look at Sean's spy gear, he goes back to Richard, who says, oh, I love this. You're like my deep throat. Ben says, I came here to say, just forget what I told you about Greg. But Richard's like, why would I do that? Like, it's like Christmas come early. It's gold. He's like, it's too late anyway, because I've got my guys putting up flyers with that information all over campus, so it's too late. You don't give a rat to a snake and ask for it back the next day. And Ben says, what? Richard's like, exactly.
Such a goofball. Exactly.
And that is my angsty away message of the week. You don't give a rat to a snake and ask for it back the next day. Like, I could picture that literally being lyrics of like a Fall Out Boy song or something. Like, it's classic. I love it.
Well, I'm going to be hearing a lot of that because my husband was watching this when I was watching it for the second time right before we came to do this. And he's already walking around the house saying it. Like, I already heard him say it once, so I know I'm going to hear it 1,000 more times. In the next few days. He laughed out loud when he heard that, and then he's already starting to repeat it. And I walked away from the TV to come sit in the office to do the recording, and I came back, and he was still watching the show because I didn't finish the second watching of it.
Because it's so
like,
good.
You finish it?
Mm-hmm.
And he's just sitting there with his cat, like petting the cat or watching the show, like eating some ice cream. I'm like, what are you doing?
It's too good of an episode to just stop.
He had to come to the conclusion with the show, yeah.
That's amazing. So then we finally get to see Elena and Tracy on a date, but it's toward the end of their date and they're already kissing on the couch. I'm assuming they ate their lobster. But in the middle of getting hot and heavy, Tracy abruptly says he's got to go, that he has to get up early. He's like, Carol Nanning, like out of nowhere. Like, what? He's like, yeah, a bunch of us, we said we would go help her tomorrow. But then he says that dinner was the best. I'll call you tomorrow. And he leaves.
Womp womp.
Yeah. I just don't understand what his plan was here.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he picked the next day or a couple days later in a staircase to tell her you need to talk. Like, you were already alone. You could have talked then. I don't know. Like, I don't understand what his plan was. And he didn't bring it up earlier. And then she invites you over to Netflix and chill. Like, I don't know. I don't understand what
She
his
makes
plan
you
was.
lobster.
Yeah. Again, he doesn't owe her anything. But it's just like, what? Well, I don't know. That would have been the time to bring it up, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah. But that's not enough conflict.
Yeah, we needed drama.
Every scene needs conflict.
Well, now Elena's like going to be doubting herself. Like, thinking it's her, because she already was, because he wasn't asking to come up. So, yeah,
Yes,
I
more
feel
conflict.
bad.
Internal
I know.
conflict.
I feel bad for Elena.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
like, we finally get to see their date, and he's leaving it early.
Mm-hmm.
So then we see Julie and Noel are out, I guess, flower shopping together. And she's asking him about things he likes. And, like, we're supposed to believe this is chemistry.
Yeah.
I guess. It was just like, oh, vanilla or chocolate. Like, what? Don't you know each other already? Like, you've all been friends for 2 years now. It was just so weird. So Noel says that Ruby has been craving pizza all the time, so she should probably vote for Richard for Pizza Fridays. So then he tells Julie that Ruby's parents were really great about, learning about the pregnancy, but that they were upset that she hadn't called the father yet. And Julie says, what? Oh, she's got to call the father. Like, when the kid gets older, they're going to go looking for him when they turn 18. And I was like, well, when they turn 18, they can, find them and call them. And Julie's like, it's not that easy. That's what happened to me. my birth dad has no idea that I'm even alive. And so Ruby's kid someday is going to have to, have all the weight and pressure on them to decide whether or not they break this huge news to their dad. Like, no, she's got to call the father. Thoughts?
I mean, her truth is her truth. That was her experience. So all she can do is speak from that and how difficult that would be. So she's advocating for the kid.
So then, as I mentioned before, Tracy then decides to confront Elena in a staircase on the way to class. She's pissed. He was like, I want to talk, but somewhere else. I'm like, well, why'd you go up to her then if you don't want to talk now? So she thinks then that he's sleeping with Carol, but he's not. But he's also not talking about it here. They both have class. And Elena says, well, at least one of us does.
That made me LOL.
It was good. It was a good clapback.
It was
I liked it.
Cute. Yeah, it's a little clapback, a little dig. That was so funny. Very clever.
So then we go to the heist with Ben picking the lock on Andre's dorm room. And Felicity's with him. She says, the last time we did something like this, we ended up in community service. Because, yeah, they got caught in the pool. So now they're in. They can't believe that it worked. And now they're whispering, walking around in the dark with flashlights, checking under the beds. Ben checks in the closet and finds the mother lode. There's boxes of buttons and posters. He stole stuff from everyone. So just then, Andre starts to open the door and comes in. So Ben and Felicity get flat on the ground together, hiding. So Andre grabs some sort of card and leaves within seconds. But Ben and Felicity are spooning on the floor, Ben breathing on her neck.
Oh, yeah.
They did not get up right away either. Like,
no. Well, you gotta wait to make sure that Andre's really gone.
Right.
I would be like, I think he's coming back. We better stay.
No, don't you hear him? I hear him.
Maybe we should get under the covers to make sure that they can't see us, and then lock the door. Push up a dresser in front of it. Was that your how to spend moment, or did we pass it?
That's a good one.
That's
the breathing
pretty high
on the
up
neck. Heck yeah.
So now that Felicity has proof, she goes to talk to Greg at the health center. She says that she broke into Andre's room and found a whole box of buttons. She's like, just thought you should know your campaign manager isn't being honest with you. And Greg says, well, this just isn't my day, is it? And holds up a flyer with all the details of his drug arrest. So Felicity's shocked. She says, oh my God, I want you to know I never said anything to anyone. Greg says he believes her, but he's like, I think we both know who did this. Felicity says it wasn't Ben. He would never go that far. Greg says, Ben did this one. Stays firm. She says, it wasn't Ben. And Greg's like, look, I had to face the truth. Like, you're going to have to face the truth soon, too. And he walks away. So back at Elena's apartment, her and Tracy finally get to talk. So he tells her, the other night you were irresistible. Elena says, but you left, so, I guess you could resist it. He says, well, look, if I had stayed, something would have happened. Things would have kept progressing. Elena says, something was happening. He says, yeah, but I don't do that. It's like, what are you talking about? He says that he hasn't had sex before, and he isn't going to until he's married. So Elena's a little surprised. She questions why. He says he grew up in a religious house. Elena's like, yeah, but your parents had you before they were married, 'cause facts. And Tracy says that that's why they don't want it to happen to him, and he doesn't want that either. Elena says, okay, but, birth control exists. And she said she doesn't know anyone who's waiting until they're married. He says, yeah, you do.
Damn.
So then Elena has to think about it. He tells her to take her time, think about it, get back to me.
So obviously the precursor to this was Donna Martin from 90210.
Explain.
Oh, you don't know? Okay, well, throughout almost the entire series.
I've seen one episode.
Oh. Well, I thought everybody knew that Donna Martin was a virgin and was waiting until she got married. It was a whole thing, yeah. It was through the whole series up until very, very close to then. And she dated through high school and through college without having sex the whole time. She got through all those years without having sex and having boyfriends and being like, yep, this isn't going to happen like that. And it was okay. She did it. So good for her for following her heart.
Congrats to her.
Yeah, that was a long run.
She did get married. She found a guy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They did boink and the season finale after their graduation day. So she didn't wait until she got married, but after she graduated. So she got through that whole thing.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, so she didn't then?
Nope. No,
she didn't do it.
No, like not technically no, but like I'm saying she got through her high school and her college years without it. But her thing throughout the series was I'm a virgin and I'm waiting till marriage for sex. Like
which
that
she
was
didn't do.
a whole big part of her character.
Okay.
She did not,
Okay.
but that
She's
was
a terrible role
staple
model.
of her character.
Okay.
Spoiler alert.
So she couldn't do it. All right. I do think it's interesting that they're flipping the script a little bit and making it a guy. I don't know
For
that
sure.
we see that a lot in TV. So I think that aspect was interesting for this show.
Yeah, usually if they are a virgin, it's not by choice.
Yeah. Involuntarily?
Not that far.
I'm kidding. I know.
Sometimes, though.
I know. That would be a different show at a different time.
Yeah.
I think it is an interesting conflict because Elena has been so, I guess now we would call it sex positive. I don't think we used those terms in the 90s, but like she's just been very upfront and open about her sexuality. Since, I guess not the pilot, she wasn't in the pilot, but like since episode 3 when we met her, like it was just like, oh, just find someone to bang and like do your schoolwork and get through college that way, right? So I do think it's interesting that they like made her face that. I wonder what he was thinking. Maybe maybe she hasn't talked about sex to him either yet. I just wonder, like, to me, it's such a mismatch of values. And I'm not saying either one is good or bad. It's just they're different people. So it just seems like such a mismatch. I don't know why he was like pursuing her to begin with, but I guess people can be open and willing to wait for someone if they want to. But it just seems like it's a big thing to get over for either of them to change their mind.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then back at the loft, Ben is talking to Sean while he's wearing some kind of headgear with spying. I don't even know what you want to call those. Was it like night vision goggles or something? It was a whole contraption. So Ben's telling Sean that he's such an idiot. Sean's like, you were annoyed, you overreacted, whatever. But Ben's like, yeah, but I should have told Felicity what I did. And Sean's like, no. Look, like, your relationship with Felicity is like a delicate flower. And if you told her, that'd be like stepping on it before it can really bloom. So Sean's like, actually, you know what? You gotta tell her. Like, she's probably gonna find out anyway. So if what would have been just like a tiny admission, now we'll then be getting into this whole big thing with her. And then he pauses for a beat and then says, actually, again, he keeps going back and forth, which is pissing Ben off. He's like, all right, I'm like going nuts here. I like can't listen to you anymore. Because Sean, it's Sean. Like, again, why should we be listening to Sean for any advice? This is the reason Ben's in this whole mess to begin with, is because he put doubt in his mind. So just stop listening to Sean. So then we also see Noel talk to Ruby about Julie's advice. So Ruby tells Noel she's not calling the father, but Noel says that she's being selfish, that she did the same thing to him when they thought he was the father. She just made this unilateral decision and cut him out of the whole process. So he said, you're doing this to Wade and you're doing this to the child now. And he tells her, you're going to have to deal with all of this eventually. She says, I'm sorry if I cut you out, but it's just a really scary process to go through. So Noel says he's there for her as a friend, but he's not always going to tell her what she wants to hear.
That was a beautiful moment. Good job, Noel.
That was nice.
Of course we're going to disagree because I don't think it's any of his business to tell her. Like, she didn't ask for his advice. So it's interesting. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, it's not his or Julie's place to tell her what to do. I don't know.
Not telling her what to do. It's just another point of consideration. Nobody's going to force her to do anything, or he's not going to be like, I'm going to stop being friends with you if you don't tell that dad right now. Like, it's not anything like that. It's just like, hey, did you think about this?
Felt like it was stronger than that. It's not like she's being selfish, but
that's his opinion. And she didn't tell him to fuck off. So, like, we can't police other people's opinions, or if they're going to give them to us, we can only regulate our own response to them. But we can't prevent people from having opinions or giving them to us. We just have to deal with it because they happen.
And wasn't she the one who started this conversation in this scene, telling him she's not calling the father? So did she just want him to sit there and stare at her after she said that?
That I think
Or
it's
was
because he
she-
brought it up. He brought
Oh,
it up
he
to
did?
her.
Okay.
Yeah. She already told him she's not calling the father. So like Noel was telling her what Julie was saying.
Okay.
Okay. Well, it was a nice moment then. So then Ben is looking at the drug arrest flyer up on the wall when Felicity comes up to him. She asks him if he had said anything about the drug arrest to anyone. And Ben says that he didn't.
Ugh.
Doofus. No?
Yeah.
Isn't he?
I think so,
Yeah.
yes.
Doofus.
All right. Yeah, he fucked up.
So then Felicity goes into a town hall with the other candidates, or I guess later they call it a debate. It felt more like a town hall to me. So we have Javier and Ben in the crowd watching her, and Javier is just so sentimental and proud of her, taking photos of her up on stage. And Richard's up there, like, just running on vibes. Anytime someone's like, I'm for this, he's like, I'm for that too. And you know what? Oh, I'm here for pizza. Like, he's literally just, it's all vibes. So then a student gets up and asks Greg about the flyers. Greg tells them that, yes, it's true. And he, only wished that he had been more upfront about it. So then Megan stands up, says, hey, who hasn't been addicted to drugs and arrested? Am I right?
Brilliant. That was perfect.
And then the British guy from the sit-in asks Greg what else he's hiding. Did he just sell? Or did he sell or did he just use? Was it only cocaine? Was there other stuff? So Greg's on the defensive, and then Felicity jumps in and says, look, we all make mistakes, and just that the negative campaigning got out of hand and that whoever put up those posters crossed a line. And Richard says, well, people need to know about the candidates. Felicity's like, well, now everyone knows, but we should all vote for the person who would make the best president, not the person who made the fewest mistakes. Again, jumps up again and said, Sierra for Greg Stetson, and clapped all by herself because nobody else is buying it. I just think it's silly that, like, Felicity, like, you're campaigning for president. You don't need to campaign for Greg. He can defend himself up on stage.
Well, you know how she is when she perceives an injustice.
Injustice, I know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And maybe deep down she does know that Ben did it and it's her
Yeah.
fault. Or her campaign manager's fault, if that's what he is. I don't know what he is. So then we go to Epstein for the post-debate and I guess post-voting after party. So Felicity tells Sally that Greg was so great about the whole drug thing. He was just able to put the whole debate behind him. And I'm like, so great. Just because, like, he, didn't go crawl in his room? I don't know. Yeah, I was just like,
because he...
so great. So the current class president is there giving a speech. She's off to, like, Harvard Law or something. And she gets to announce who won. And drum roll, it's a tie. And I love that, like, we think, maybe we don't think, maybe, like, the first time we were watching, we're like, oh, Felicity and Greg win. Oh, my God. But no, the new co-presidents are Carol Nanning and Richard, which makes a lot of sense in today's environment as well. Like, of course, pizza wins. Free pizza wins. Vibes win.
Yeah.
Heather, did this scene remind you of another show, similar scene, Buffy?
Always
you know
Buffy.
the episode where Buffy and Cordelia are both running for, like, homecoming queen, and then they announce the winner, and it's like the two other girls. It was a tie. The two other girls were there.
I forgot about that, to be honest. It made me think of Mean Girls more than that, where it's like, oh, everyone gets a piece of the crown. I forgot about that Buffy episode.
Because the person's like, it's a tie.
Yeah.
Not them.
And aren't they all, like, dirty from whatever fight?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm going to go back and watch that. So, yeah, I love that, like, it wasn't Felicity and Greg in a tie as co-president. Because as we've said in the past, like, oh, of course, Noel wins a graphic design thing. Of course, Ruby gets cast as the lead star. Like, everything just happens so easily for all of them. So, yeah, I love that, like, we both have them win. No. But yeah, Richard's upset that he's co-president. He wanted it to be a victory party. He wanted to rub it in everyone's faces. So Felicity decides to give cheers to Greg to no more dirty tricks. And Greg asks her if she'd still consider going away for the weekend. But Felicity says she thinks they should start with dinner in town. I'm like, yes, Felicity, good call. So then we see Noel and Julie in a booth together. Noel tells her that Ruby called Wade and that he's coming out next week to discuss. Which, is, I guess, disappointing to him. He says that even though it is the best thing for everyone, it doesn't feel like it. But Julie's consoling him and says that he's been such a great friend to her. Ruby's lucky to have him. But Noel says, actually, Ruby's lucky to have you, Julie. Like, you're the one who made me realize how important it was for Ruby to call the father. And that what Julie said was really wise. So, there's that. So then we see Felicity approach them looking for Ben. But Julie says he wasn't feeling well, so he's not there. And Noel says, oh, if you want to lose another election, just let me know. Which I thought was funny. Because they helped her lose. So then we go to the back where Tracy's playing pinball. And Elena asks to chat. And Tracy says, yes, but then he just keeps on playing pinball. I was really upset at that. Like, he couldn't stop playing pinball and just, listen to her. I was actually very upset by that.
Especially since he knew it was probably about, the important conversation they needed.
Yeah. So she says she thought about what he said, and she thinks that the best thing right now would to be just friends. So he says, well, sounds like you thought a lot about this. I'm not going to argue with you, so we're friends. They fist bump, they hug, and then they kiss. So, interesting.
Melissa, what did you think about that?
Obviously, they have amazing chemistry. I don't know. I don't think that resolve's gonna last. It's got too much spark.
That's the thing. It's like there's not a deadline. There's a time limit on their relationship already. I don't know.
She could choose to wait too. Wait for him,
or he could change.
Let's gotta be committed to being married.
Yeah, they've got chemistry. And I don't know. It almost looked like he kissed her. Like he reached in first, but I might have to rewind and take a look at that. So
no, I think you're right.
Yeah. So I don't know what to think about that. So then Felicity is at the bar next to Richard. He's telling her, all the success secrets to his campaign. He tells her, you gotta have a catchphrase. I couldn't have done it without Free Pizza Fridays. He's sipping his little drink with the umbrella in it. He's like, well, Free Pizza Fridays and Ben. He was a huge help. She's like, Ben? Yeah, he gave me the drug information about Greg. No one's voting for criminals, not anymore. Sure, it would have come out eventually, but, I really got that information at the choice moment. And so Felicity storms off back to Greg, tells him she wants to go away for the weekend. She's just got to get out of here. Greg's like, what's really going on here? Why the sudden turnaround, right? She says, I just think we both deserve a vacation. So is it possible? Can we go away? Greg's like, well, yeah. He's not going to say no. I was really disappointed with Felicity.
Oh my God.
This is so dramatic.
Yeah. She did that thing again where I don't like this choice, but then this other choice messes up, so I'm going to go back to that original choice that I wasn't totally feeling. It's why?
Yep.
Well, now she's rubbing Greg in Ben's face. Oh, you did? Okay, I'm going to go out with Greg then to rub it in his face. I'm going to do this. I don't want to say to Ben, but she knows how much Ben dislikes Greg. And so, Ben pissed me off. All right, fine. I'm going to go away for the weekend with Greg then. It's such a weird reaction. That should have nothing to do with your relationship with Greg.
Yeah. I didn't take it she was getting back at him. I think it was just one of those things where she has that self-doubt, so she defaults to the original choice, even though she wasn't fully committed to that original choice. Because she's done that before. The whole, the reason there's a love triangle throughout the entire series, just going back and forth. It's there's another option, and that's neither of them. That's an option too.
Mm-hmm. But she already said let's go on another date. Why I don't know.
Yeah.
To me it was why go back and up the ante. Yeah.
Should have gone to Epstein Bar so everybody could see them dating. So I think I felt that's why I feel it was more than just putting it in his face. It was, I don't know, because she didn't go to his door and be guess where I'm going this weekend. I don't know. I think she just makes bad choices. She was just impulsive and thought that was some sort of solution.
I'm not trying to say like she's doing it to Ben, but it was like this was also an overreaction. It was like, all right, now I'm going to overcommit to Greg. It was an overcorrection. It was like, oh, Ben just pissed me off, so now I'm going to go all in on Greg.
Like double down
commit.
So hard.
Double down. Yeah. It was weird.
It was weird. It was stupid. It wasn't just weird. It was stupid. It's like, I'm mortified for her again.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that she does with Greg is mortifying. I just can't understand it. I'm never going to understand it.
Yeah. It's lacking a level of self-respect for sure.
Yes.
So then back at Felicity's room, Ben is knocking on her door, wanting to talk to her just for 5 minutes, even though, he's sure she doesn't want to talk to him. Keeps knocking. Finally, Megan opens the door, says Felicity's not there. She's away with Greg. Ben's like, well, where did she go? I mean, Megan's pissed. She's like, look, I brought all the balloons. I wore the hat. And Felicity's the one who gets Greg into bed. She's like, they're probably having sex right now. Ben's like, okay, where are they? So she says they went to some B&B in Rhinebeck. She's like, it makes me want to puke. And it reminded me of when Berkey was like the one helping Felicity at the sit-in, and then he was like, oh, I do all the baking and Greg gets to eat the cake. It reminded me of that. So we see then Greg and Felicity driving to go up. I'm guessing that's upstate. Greg tells her that he's glad the election is over. Felicity says, yeah, about that. You were right about Ben and the drug thing. It was him. And Greg says, forget about it. This weekend is about us. She says, yeah, and Rhinebeck looks so beautiful. Then we pivot to Ben at Grand Central Station, buying a ticket to Rhinebeck. And he's looking off in the distance at the time schedule, the train schedule.
Yeah.
And that ending felt like it was his show. Ending on his POV, it felt like his show. And it's just so funny because then, I'm watching on Disney Plus and it shows next episode and it gives you a timer to start auto playing it. And it says next episode was Ben was here. And I'm like, it felt like they just went right into his POV for the next episode and it's called Ben Was Here. And I just thought that was really funny. We switched perspectives. And now he's the one following her all over. I love it.
So romantic.
Oh, we'll see. I don't know if everybody's going to agree on that.
Grand Central Station.
Yeah. There's nothing more romantic than that. Yeah.
I know. All the bums.
I was like, of course I can think of a few things, but
Rhinebeck is kind of like a ritzy, vacation town for rich New York people. I think a lot of celebrities have houses there.
That explains why I've never heard of it.
Oh, it's near Woodstock.
It's
it's near the Catskills, Dirty Dancing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, Paul Rudd and what's his name from Walking Dead? They own a candy store in Rhinebeck.
Together?
You have to read about it. Yeah, and his Jeffrey Dean Morgan and his wife. Hillary Burton, who was on One Tree Hill. But yeah, the three of them own this little candy shop there.
What?
Fun fact.
That's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's no Hamptons, but
you can order it online. Yeah.
Well, adds to cart. Click.
What a good episode.
That was a good one. It had romance. It had comedy. It had dramatic
turmoil.
Lots of conflict. And Ben's gonna be here next time. Ben was here. We're gonna have to change our podcast name for that week.
Yeah, that'd be
just have to change the episode. Cover art. Yeah,
you should.
Oh God.
All right.
Right. Well, everyone get some pizza tomorrow on Friday, and we'll check in with you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Felicity Was Here is produced, written, and edited by Heather, Melissa, and Dr. Joe. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Felicity Was Here Pod. If you're enjoying the pod, please leave us a review and help us spread the word. We appreciate you and would love to hear from Felicity superfans like us. So send us your feedback, ask us your burning questions, or just say hey at felicitywasherepod@gmail.com. We may even read your note in a future episode.